onto solid waste management in the Finger Lakes region. I mean, we all agree, we're all on the same page that it is critically important that we protect our natural resources, especially our water bodies. In my Senate district, are you aware of the waste incinerator that's been proposed for Romulus, New York?
I am aware of the proposal, yes.
Okay.
We have not received an application on that, though.
But have you had meetings with the representatives from the incinerator?
I have not. My office may have. Typically, when we get these kinds of applications coming our way, there's a pre-application meeting, and I know that there was a large community hearing, if you will, down in the Romulus area,
Right.
on this.
So the application was submitted locally. It's since been pulled and now has gone to Article 10. And my question is, now that the application will be reviewed under the Article 10 requirements, does that negate the need for a solid waste management permit?
I would have to get back to you with an answer on that. The interplay between Article 10 and typically, years ago, this would have been a seeker process. Now that it's an energy generating station, we'd have to determine. I believe DEC's permits would still remain in effect. We would still have to issue permits to a degree, but we'll get back to you with an answer on that.
Okay, I have received responses from your office, but it's that no, there are no solid waste management permits that would be required. Seeker will not be required. There's a whole nother process, which is my concern.
Wait, but to clarify, the general requirements associated with the permits that DEC issues normally as an individual permit are generally incorporated into Article 10. So, for example, if there are permits associated, if there are air permit requirements associated with that, those would be folded into the Article 10 component, generally speaking, I think, unless there's a federal permit associated with that. But we can confirm on all of those particular details.
Okay.
But generally speaking, that's handled within the Article 10 process.
And I think it is critically important that the DEC be involved every step of the way. This has the potential to have a huge negative impact on our lakes. This proposal, waste incinerator, is proposed to be 3.5 miles from Seneca Lake. And also something that I found interesting was that the largest source of greenhouse gases, what I heard from your testimony, Commissioner, comes from transportation.
Correct.
This waste incinerator project alone is proposing an additional 260 trucks on the road. So think of the emissions from that. And it's not solving a local issue. We have 2 landfills within less than 20 miles of this proposed incinerator. So we don't have a need locally for the incinerator. The waste is going to be trucked in from downstate, from out of state. It's just wrong. We take more than our fair share of waste in the Finger Lakes area. We don't need a waste incinerator program. But one of the questions I have for you is, does the DEC consider the energy generated from waste incinerators clean energy?
Do we consider the energy generated at waste incinerators clean energy? Senator, I mean, it's a theoretical question. I mean, it's clean energy in my mind is windmills, solar power, hydro. I mean, those are the big categories. Waste energy, in my mind, is an older technology. We see lots of proposals that come to us. I'm aware of many types of technologies that claim to be renewable. My biggest concerns whenever I hear of a project are, is there an appropriate recycling system in place before this type of a system is proposed? Are there no other alternatives? We have a system to review these projects as they come to us. This one hasn't come to us yet, and I know it has generated an enormous amount of public interest and opposition, and we'll give it a fair shake. But our perspective on renewable resources is that the other technologies is where the state will put emphasis, and will fairly and justly process permit applications when they arrive at our agency.